something special. We're not gonna do some gameplay like usual. We're not gonna do another Minecraft video. Today we're going to be showing off every single character from Rainbow Six that I have. Also gonna show their abilities, their weapons. I mean, I have a lot of characters from them. I'm kind of pissed because on the top right you can see my coins, or what's it called. I need 15,000. I have 14,998. That's pretty sad. Yeah, and I'm just gonna check through every single one that I have. And by the way, don't do what I did with Lesion. It's not worth it. All right. So let's get started. We're gonna start off with Sledge. He's the first attacker. He uses a hammer to breach through walls that are not reinforced, because you would actually just see the reinforcement if you broke the wall. His weapon is pretty decent. I'm not gonna say the name. That's just stupid. But it's a pretty good weapon. It's a fully automatic AR. And does quite some damage, and it shoots pretty fast too. The only negative thing about this weapon is it takes a long time to start zooming in. The secondary weapons, the SMG is kind of OP if you can use it. It has a lot of bloom, so or like recoil, I mean. So when you start shooting, it just goes everywhere. But if you can handle that, you can also kind of fix it using a grip. But if you like can counter that, it's a really OP weapon. Alright. Yeah, he has a frag and a stun grenade. He is very well armored and isn't that fast, but he's really good. Alright. I'm gonna do something before the copyright strike me. I don't know if it's copyrighted, but I don't know. Okay. Next character will be Thatcher. Thatcher is, in my opinion, not that good of a fighter, attacker. I mean, his weapon is the same. As you can see, I've never used him, and I am level 93. His weapon is the same as Sledge, but his EMP grenade or his super attack isn't that useful. It's pretty useful if you're playing on the map house or home. I have no idea how it is in English. And the enemies are in garage. You can basically just destroy every bandit or Cade super that like set what's it called, electricity to the wall, and so you can breach with like Thermite later. Yeah, sorry, I'm really confused lately. I mean, like, he has some cool skins. I think this is the character with the coolest skins of all. I mean, like, you have like a lot of opportunity, like things to do with him, like futuristic, all those stuff. It's pretty cool. His armor and speed is just the same as with Slash. So, alright. The third attacker is gonna be Ashe. Ashe is, in my opinion, not that good because she's really fast and has no armor. So you just one shot every single time almost. A lot of people use her. I get why. Her weapon is really good, and it's like really good to you know, rush people and destroy them. Her super ability is a grenade launcher, kinda. It shoots a rocket launcher, and it breaches through walls actually. So it's like the ranged version of Sledge, only she has 2 or 3 bullets, and Sledge has like 15, I think. So, I mean, like, she's decent. I don't use her, but a lot of people do, and I get why, but I'm not that kind of guy. Alright, next up we're gonna have Thermite. Thermite is a character that has a breach charge, but that breach charge can go through reinforced walls, which means if you play on a map home again or every single other map, and you really need to breach using one of these, you can basically just destroy the whole wall with one thing. It's really good. His weapons are also really good. You can actually see it's 47 damage. It's pretty fast as well. Almost no recoil. Um, and it has a 30 capacity mag. It also has a shotgun, which is pretty decent. I mean, like, I don't use that too much. I just kind of use it because I have the black eye skin. But that's kind of it. He's pretty fast, has the same armor and speed as Sledge. Alright, next up we're gonna have Twitch. Twitch is a female character with just as much speed and armor as Slash again. Her ability is a shock drone, which is pretty good in the first round, in the drone phase round, because you actually get to use it right off the bat. Which means if you like wait long enough, if the enemy's already set every single one of their traps, you can just delete every single one, which is good because if they have cap can, you can like put traps on the walls and the doors, and it'll just explode every single time, or like Jaeger, but we'll get to those later. Her weapon is an F2. It's I think it's an SMG. I mean, like, you can kind of see it as an SMG. It's an SMG and an assault rifle, because its fire rate is super high. It doesn't deal that much damage, and the recoil is really bad. So you have like a lot of recoil. Its capacity is 25, which means it has 25 bullets and 1 reload. But if you can aim with it, it's really good. Believe me. All right. Next up, we're gonna have Monta. I have no idea how you actually say it. That's how I always say it. He is a shield holder, and ability of a shield is that it can extend. It becomes really big after a time if you like use your ability. You can use this for the whole match. It's really good. He has a lot of armor, not much speed because he's wearing a shield and big ass armor suit. His weapons are 2 pistols. You can have a revolver, a magnum, or a P9. I personally use the P9 because it has a lot more bullets, and you don't have to reload as fast, and the recoil isn't that big. With the Magnum, yeah, you have a really big recoil. There's not much bullets in the weapon. It's just it does a lot of damage. A lot of people use the Magnum. A lot of people use the P9. It's basically the same. I have. Oh my god, I'm ashamed of myself. Why would I have a laser? I mean, it's kind of good, but it's not really good. What have I done? Why is this? Okay, let's see. Next up, we're going to have, what's his name? Glaz. Glaz is a sniper wielding person. He has same armor and speed as Sledge again, 2 and 2. I personally don't use him. I'm not that good with him because his sniper needs multiple shots. His ability is actually that he can change his scope, so you can have a short range scope and a long range. The long range also has thermal. It's actually thermal. The long range is just this one. I mean, like, you can change it if you want, but I personally use reflex if I ever use him. So, alright. His weapons are these. I really don't prefer this one. The PMM is really bad in my opinion. The GSH-18 I think is the best. I don't know why. I just really prefer this one. I guess it does a little less damage, but it has more bullets. And the recoil on this one is really bad. So yeah, that's kind of the reason. So next up we're going to have Fuse. Fuse is a character that use a cluster bomb. You can set this in barricades. You can set this in unreinforced walls, in floors, wooden floors from everywhere actually. You can't set it on ceilings because you can't really reach them. Use a lot of armor, has almost no speed. Sorry. The thing is, the cluster bombs, you can set them to walls, and you can like activate them from a distance, which means you can just place them, walk away for like a little while, then activate them, which is gonna shoot like a lot of bombs into the room you're actually aiming it in. And yeah, it's pretty good actually. His weapons are really good too. He can use a shield. There's nothing special with this shield. It's just a shield. Um, he has an LMG, which is pretty overpowered in my opinion, and an AK-12, which is good. And the thing is, it doesn't do that much damage, and that's kind of the bad thing about it. But from fire rate and recoil and the armor, the capacity of the weapon is really good. The PMM, again, isn't that good. The GSH is better. Alright. Next up, we're going to have Blitz. Blitz has a shield, also has a shield. But the special thing about his shield is he can flash people with it. As you can see, you have like the things in front of the shield, and if you press R1, your specialty button, it can flash people from not that far. I mean, like, you have to stand really close, but if you flash them, they can't see anything for like 5 seconds, so it's really good. In that time, you'll just be spraying around, probably, and you could just, or knife them with your shield, or just shoot them with your pistol. His pistol is a P12, which is a really good weapon, in my opinion. It has a decent scope as well. The recoil isn't that bad. I mean, like, it's pretty good. Damage is good. The capacity is only 15 bullets. For a pistol, that's really good, but I don't know. I personally don't use shield that much. Alright, next up, we're going to have IQ. IQ has a specialty that can see electronic devices through walls. Now, you might be thinking, why is that useful? Well, for C4, if people plant C4 somewhere, you can just see it and hit it with your pistol. Because when you have your ability out, it's basically like a little phone screen, and you can only use your pistol while having it out. Alright, so you can't use your AUG-2 or Commando or G8A1. No, it's only the pistol. The best weapon I think is the AUG because it has a lot of fire rate. It does a lot of damage. The bullets are only 30, which is really good too. I mean, like, it's not only 30, it's 30, it's really good. So I think most of the people use this weapon. I don't really think anyone uses the Commando. That's my opinion. I also have the Claymore and the breaching thing. My opinion, breaching explosive is a lot better than the Claymore. Some people use Claymore because it's good for trapping people behind you if you're going to camp. I mean, like camp attack, or what do you call it? She is really fast. Doesn't have a lot of armor like Ashe. So yeah, I mean, like, she's pretty decent. Right. Next up, we're going to show every single thing that's over 1,000 room, or what do you call it, or coins, or I don't know. And it's going to be Buck is going to be first. Buck has a good weapon. I think it's a one-tap weapon. No, it's not. This is a one-tap weapon. And his specialty is actually that you can use a shotgun underneath your weapon to breach through walls, kill people really fast. It's pretty good. The shotgun has 21 magazine and already 6 in it. So that comes to a total of 27 shotgun shots, which is really good on top of a... I mean, like, you have like an AR on top of it. Personally, I would use this weapon. It's pretty good. You can also use this one because it does a lot of damage. The bad thing about this weapon, though, is that it's a one-tap weapon. And it only has 20 bullets. But I think this one is the best. Alright, so people, by everything, I mean with the weapons, it's usually my opinion or just the things I see the most, right? Next up, we're going to have Blackbeard. He is a character, and he has the SR, which is a one-tap weapon, and the MK17. His specialty, though, is that he can place a little shield upon his weapon, which can, like, tank, I think, 2 or 3 bullets. But if you can aim a little bit, that's enough to actually kill someone before they break your shield. Also, you have 2 shields. When you have one shield on, you actually walk slower. So you should actually just set up the shield when you're walking inside a house. Walking inside a house is you should never sprint inside a house because it's really loud. People can instantly hear you. So you just crouch in a house, try to kill people like that. Alright, next up we're going to have Capitao. Capitao is a character, an attacker again, which uses a crossbow. Crossbows, I mean, like, as his specialty, right? A crossbow that can shoot 2 smokes, sorry, and 2 fire arrows. Usually I don't use them, I think it's really bad. It doesn't do any damage. He also has 2 weapons, the Para and the M2. The M2 is a LMG, as you can see. The stats are basically the same as the Para, but if you try to scope, it's a lot slower. If you're like trying to zoom in, and the recoil is a bit worse too. He has a Lesion. I thought, no, why did I change that? That was okay. It's the PRB 92. First, this was a Lesion, which was used by Kaveri, but I guess they changed that. I have no idea why. Alright. Next up, we are going to have welcome my fellow viewer. Next up, we're going to have Hibana. Hibana is a attacker that has 3 dots of speed and 1 dot of armor, just like the same like Ashe. That's kind of the bad thing about her. She's good for rushing, I think. Her specialty is that she has a weapon, and it can actually shoot 6 kind of dots, I think, and they can breach through reinforced walls and castles walls and what they call barricades. It's pretty good. Her weapons are the type 89 and Supernova. Supernova is a shotgun, which does a little bit of damage. It's not that big. Capacity is 7. I mean, like, the damage improves the closer you get, so, you know. The knockback, I mean, like, the recoil is big, but that's obvious because it's a shotgun. She also has a AR, an assault rifle, the type 89. It's a really good weapon, I think, if you can shoot with it. If you can actually hit all your shots, it's really overpowered. Wait, I'll open my chat real quick. She has a capacity of 20, and I don't know, man. I think it's pretty decent. Oh, yo, Flamingo XD, how are you doing? And yeah, that's pretty much it for Himana. I mean, like, she has a Berg 9. You should use this one, this machine pistol. It's really good. It has it has a really big fire rate. It's a lot of recoil too. But if you can hit all your shots, it's really overpowered. It's really good. The pistol, I shouldn't use the pistol. It's really bad. Alright, Jackal is one of my mains. He has 2% speed. I mean, 2 dots of speed and 2 dots of armor, which is really good. His super is really cool though. When you turn on his super, he gets this vision, which can see footsteps of people that have walked there. When you see them, you can actually scan them and ping them for 3 times. So you just walk in a house, try to lure people with your drone first. Walk in the house or in the building, get your Jackal up, look at the footsteps, scan them. You know where they are. If you're lucky, it's maybe a Caviera, and you can actually just destroy her. You know, you can destroy every single person with this. His weapon is an assault rifle, a C7E. Sorry, that was pretty dumb. It does a lot of damage. It has a lot of fire rate. The capacity is 30, which is usually 30, and a knockback is not much at all. The thing about this weapon, though, it's really good up closer. From far range, it does less damage. It's really hard to shoot. Just as the what's it called, the submachine gun. I mean, like, it does a lot of bullets. Doesn't do that much damage, but I mean, like, from far away, it does even less. You have the ETA-12 L. I have no idea what the L is for, but it's a shotgun. It's really good. And this capacity is 8. His knockback is really big. That's normal for a shotgun. So yeah, I never use a shotgun actually. I think it's really bad. The ETA-12S, you should use this as your. I mean, like, you shouldn't use it. It's pretty good as a secondary weapon because you can actually breach through walls with this. Through unreinforced walls. I mean. The USP, I mean, like, it really isn't that good. It is not, at least in my opinion. You should use the shotgun if you really want to make sure you can breach enough. Since he doesn't have any breaching charges, I mean, this is going to be your best option. Alright, next up we're going to have Sofia, because I haven't unlocked Ying yet. Sofia is a female character, has 2 dots of speed, 2 dots of armor, which I think is the best. It's pretty balanced. Her special weapon is pretty good too. She can actually use a shooter, which can breach through walls instantly. And it has through 2. I don't even know what to call it. It's like stun grenades kinda, and they explode on impact. So 2 impact stun grenades and 2 impact grenades, just normal. She has 2 weapons: the M762, the attack, what's it called? The assault rifle. It has not a lot of knockback or recoil. Does 45 damage a shot. It's really good from far away and from up close. Capacity of 30, like usual. Yeah, that's really good. She also has a light machine gun, which makes her a lot slower. I usually don't use this weapon. It's not my thing. Her secondary is really good too. At least in my opinion, it's really good for taking out drones because it has this cool sight. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say up last. She can resist when she's knocked. She can resist. When she gets up, she has a total of 5 HP, which isn't that good, but I mean, like, it's decent. Alright, next up we're going to have Dokkaebai. Dokkaebai is, in my opinion, not that good. She has a pretty special weapon and ability, though. Her weapon is a one-tap weapon. It does 60 damage a shot from any range, I think. I have no idea. Her capacity is 20, which is decent for a one-tap weapon. It doesn't have a lot of knockback. Recoil is not a lot, like really none almost. She also has a shotgun, which is really good because, I mean, like, it only has 2 bullets, which when you think that about 2 bullets would be pretty bad. But it's also from far range. So when you like 2-tap, when you like, it can shoot really fast for each other. From far range to from close range. Close range is almost always 1-tap. Far range, I mean, it's pretty good far range for a shotgun at least. Her weapons are an SMG-12. Wait, what? It can place? Yeah, I know, but I usually don't place a COG because it's not my it's not my scope. She also has 2 SMGs, which are pretty good. I don't know what else to tell about that. It's just things. Her super is that she can actually call every single enemy person, and her phone and their phones will get hacked. Of course, it's just for a loud sound, a loud ringing sound. And when you kill someone, you can actually hack their phone and get intel to every single camera of the enemy team. Alright, next up we're going to have Finca. Finca is a good character that gives an adrenaline boost, which means you get 20% extra health for a few seconds. You walk faster, and I think, if your teammates are knocked, you can actually bring them back to life. I think I'm not pretty sure about that, but I think it's like that. Her weapons are pretty good too. It's a spear. I usually use this one. It's an assault rifle. 700 fire rate. It's pretty good. Damage of 42. Has a capacity of 30. And I mean, it's pretty cool. Even I have a skin. Even I mean, like, come on, how can you not use this? This once was my main. Again, the GSH is probably better as a PMM. But I don't know. Alright. Next up, we are going to have Kali. Kali is pretty special because she actually uses a sniper, and it's not her ability. Her ability is to shoot a thing, I mean, a kind of an explosive. It's not that big of an explosive, but it can destroy enemy gadgets from through walls. Through reinforced walls, you can actually destroy bandits, electro things, Cade's electro things, what's his name? Jaeger's things. I'm just calling them things, but yeah. That's pretty good. Her weapon is a sniper, as I already told you. If you hit someone, you're instantly knocked. You can just finish them off with your auto. C75 auto is a really good weapon. If you use Kali, it's probably the best to use this weapon inside buildings. If you have large rooms, you can use a sniper, but short rooms or small rooms, you can use the thing. Alright, next up we're going to have Jana. Jana is my personal favorite. I use her in almost every single match if I have to attack. She is my main, because her abilities and weapon is really good. Her ability is to actually place a twin or a drone kind of. It looks just like her. You can walk inside buildings, and if people shoot the twin or the drone, it actually just disappears, and you can recharge it and use it again. The bad thing about the drones or the twin is you can break anything. You can shoot, you can rappel or grapple up walls, and I mean, like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good to scout for the enemy players. Her weapons are the same as Ashe. The C36C is the same weapon Ashe uses. It's a pretty good weapon. I personally don't use this weapon because just one time I used it and I think it's really bad. I always use this one. It's really good. The pistol is the MK1 9mm. It's the same as Frost uses. So yeah, that was for the attackers. Now let's get to the defenders, which I also have 20 of. First off, we're going to take a look at Smoke. Smoke is a character. I personally don't use him because I think his attack is pretty bad, or like it's super. He can actually place a gas grenade and explode it when he wants to. He can only place one gas grenade at a time. His weapons aren't that good either. I mean, like, it's the FMG9. I'm sorry. It's pretty decent. It doesn't do that much damage. It shoots pretty fast. It's a 30 thing capacity, but it's a machine gun, so I don't know. His shotgun is, yeah, I'm sorry for the pink. His shotgun is a one-tap weapon like every single shotgun. It has a capacity of 9, has a lot of recoil, but it's pretty decent in states of damage. I mean, as weapon, as the secondary weapon, you should probably use the SMG-11. It's the same as with Sledge. Sledge, I don't know. It's pretty good. So yeah, let's get on to the next one. Mute is gonna be our next character. Mute is a character that can place. I have no idea how you say it actually. Yeah, like drone. I mean, it plays something, and when drones come close to it, they actually get deactivated. So it actually just hacks it kinda. It just they don't work when the drones come into the radius of the thing. I personally don't think this is good for beginners, but when you are in high ranks, I am not. I'm silver 4. But when you're like high ranks, I'm saying gold or whatever comes next to gold, it's really good because people are going to use their drones more often, which means Mute is going to be one of your best and most valuable characters. His weapon is an MP5K. It's a machine gun. It's pretty decent. If you can shoot with it, try to get headshots. It's always one tap, and it's pretty good. Not gonna lie. His shotgun is a name that I'm not gonna say because I'll be here tomorrow. It's the same as Slash, I think. I'm not really sure. I think it is. All right. Next up, Castle. Castle, I am going to warn you. He is a decent character. I'm not gonna lie. He is really decent. His ability is to, instead of setting barricades, you actually can set 3 plates, which are really hard to break. You have to hit it 13 or 12 times with your gun before you can actually destroy a plate. As a defender, you can use your crowbar to destroy it, and Castle will get it back. As a defender, I mean, like, it's not that good. You can breach it with almost everything. Ashe's thing, Sofia's ability, breaching charges. What else? There's a lot more probably. I just can't come up with them. Oops. His weapons are pretty decent. If I can get back. UMP 45. It's a pretty good weapon. I guess. It doesn't do that much damage. His fire rate isn't that fast. Also doesn't have that much of a capacity or amount of bullets, but his recoil is really, really good. It almost has no recoil, which means you can actually headshot people pretty easily. His shotgun is the same as with someone else. I have really no idea. Fire rate is 1 tap, but you can actually spam click it. Is that the shotgun? I think it is. Yeah. Its capacity is 8. It doesn't do that much damage. Its recoil is really bad, but for a shotgun, you know, it's a pretty good shotgun. You have the Super Shorty, which is a shotgun as a secondary. I personally don't use it. I don't know why. I've never used it before. I think this pistol is pretty good because it has 20 bullets and it does a lot of damage. Of course, people are using the Super Shorty, Shorty just as much as the pistol. But yeah, I personally use the pistol. Next up, we're going to have Pulse. Pulse is pretty special too. He actually has a heartbeat sensor, and I pressed R1. This heartbeat sensor can you'll see heartbeats through walls. I don't know how many walls, but I know you can see them through reinforced walls, through unbreakable walls, through barricades, through non-reinforced walls. It's really good. His weapons are the same as the castle's weapons. only his secondary, he has this weapon and also the same as Castle. I personally prefer, I don't know, I think this one, I'm not pretty good at shooting with this one. It has a lot of damage, only has 7 bullets though, so, and it has a lot of recoil, so it is what it is, you know. Alright, next up, we are going to have Doc. Doc is a really good character. He has a stim pistol that can actually heal your teammates for 40 health. You can also heal enemies if you really want to do that, but I don't think that's going to be one of your priorities. His weapons are really good too. He has a shotgun, which is pump, and he also has an MP5. The recoil on the MP5 is really, really good. It also almost has no recoil. The damage on the weapon though is only 27, from I think close or like decent range. Its capacity of 30, which is really good for a machine pistol. He also has a P90. A P90, you probably know what a P90 is. If you don't, it's a weapon. It's a submachine gun that shoots really, really fast. Doesn't do that much damage. Has a big capacity and has a decent knockback, I guess, or like recoil. It also has a P9. It's pretty good. I mean, it's the same weapon Monta can use, and then this weapon, this just the same weapon as Monta can use. So, you know. All right. Next up, we're going to have Rook. Rook is one of my not one of my personal favorites. Is actually, I think it's one of the worst characters out there. But I mean, if you want to use him, you use him. It's pretty good for your team. He actually plays as a little package, and you can get armor, like body shield from that, which is really good because you take a lot less damage. Just make sure your whole team gets it, because if one of the idiots just leaves he doesn't get armor, and 2 enemies can actually pick it up. So you have to make sure enemies cannot pick it up. Alright, his weapons are a P90, an MP5, and this shotgun. It's just the same loadout as Doc. Not pretty special. Alright, next, I usually don't talk this much. Next up, we're going to have Capcan. Capcan is a really good character. He places entry traps, so you can actually place them through windows. You can actually set them. It does 40 damage, I think, 40 or 50 damage. No, 40. Yeah, 40. And the best thing, a tip is, for me, when you place it while you're crouching. Why? So characters can't just crouch underneath it. If you're, I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's pretty good. His weapons are really, really good though. He has a spam shotgun which does a lot of damage. He has it says it's a machine gun, but in my opinion, it's actually an AR, assault rifle. It's really good. Not gonna lie, does a lot of damage for what they say is a machine gun. Sorry, I have hiccups. It does a lot. It doesn't have a lot of recoil, so it's really good. It has a Mega 30. It's a PMM, which once again isn't that good, and the GSH, which is decent. All right. Next up, we are going to have the Chunka. The Chunka is one of my hatred. I hate playing with or against these. He actually places down a light machine gun. It has 151 bullets. I don't know why it's 51. It's pretty overpowered in my opinion. So yeah, it also has like a little shield to protect your head, so you can actually only do leg shots. And if you're smart and place one of these, well, it's basically just undefeatable. You can throw grenades to try and break it, but I don't know. It also has the same weapon, which is really good, and the same shotgun, so it's basically the same loadout as Capcan. Right, next up we're going to have Jaeger. Jaeger is one of my personal favorites, just because of his weapon. He places down a defense system, and it can shoot 4 grenades that are thrown into its radius. Kind of, you can't see its radius, but it's a pretty big radius. When you place it, and someone throws a grenade inside, it just destroys a grenade. His weapon is, this one is my favorite. I love this weapon. It's so clean. It's so good. Yeah, I don't know why. It's really good. It has a lot of damage. 30 mag, like usual. Doesn't, I mean, like, it has a little bit of recoil, but I think it's really good. Alright, it has a shotgun. Shotgun always has a lot of recoil. I usually don't use a shotgun, so I don't even know if, I mean, it's pump. It says in the description of the weapon it's a pump weapon. Does 60 damage, have a capacity of 7. I mean, like, I guess it's pretty decent. Alright, next up we are going to have Bandit. Bandit is a pretty special one because it can actually set electricity to reinforced walls and barbed wire, which is pretty good because if you place barbed wire and you electrocute it, drones can get into that room, or you know, that through that door. The reason you can actually set electricity to walls is because you have like thermite, and if he places it on the wall, it would just break. Also with normal, ow, sorry. So yeah, it's pretty good. If drones run against the wall for some reason, they also break. I mean, it's really good. His weapons are a MP7, which is a machine gun, submachine gun, I mean. It's pretty decent, I guess, if you can shoot with it. It has a lot of recoil, but, I mean, like, it's pretty decent. Right? The shotgun is the same as with, Jaeger. And yeah, alright. Oh, man. Next up, we're going to have Frost. Frost is the first one who doesn't have, who's a lot, it's more expensive than 1,000 coins. She actually was one of my favorites. And she places bear traps. Bear traps, 3 bear traps to be particular, or like, to be for sure. How do you call it? To be precise, sorry. And yeah, it's pretty smart to place them in front of windows, behind mobile shields. Yeah, she's pretty good, I guess. Her weapon is pretty special too. I personally use the 9mm C1 because it's not a shotgun, and it's really, really good. It has a capacity of 34. I think this has been buffed. Has a damage of 45. I mean, the fire rate is not that big, but when it does that much damage, it's really not needed. Also, the Super 90 is a shotgun. I really don't know. It's only good for like breaching, so. Alright, I also have detailed statistics. I have no idea. I have catched 72 players with a Belcom man. That's pretty good. I played with her for 12 hours. Holy shit. Wait. I have 230 kills with her. Alright. 539,000 XP. I don't know, man. That's pretty good, I think. Alright, next we're going to have Valkyrie. Valkyrie is a female character that can throw cameras. She has 3 cameras. She can throw them wherever she wants. On roofs, ceilings, floors, walls. Even when the drone faces over, you can actually throw them outside, which is really good too. To actually scan people without them knowing. Her weapons are pretty good too. She has an MPX. It has a really good fire rate. Only a capacity of 30, but that's good for that's actually good for some machine gun. Only does 26 damage, but has almost no recoil. She also has a SPAS 12, which is not a pump. It's like a spam shotgun, I believe. It's a 7 bullet capacity, 35 damage a shot. Has a lot of recoil, but I don't know. It's pretty good. All right, She also has a deagle. This deagle is overpowered. It's really good. If you can shoot with it, it's really good. It's actually good. It's a fire rate. It's a one-tap weapon, but it does 71 damage for a for a pistol. So that's really good. All right, next up we're going to have Caviera, of Cavera, Cavi. I don't know, whatever you whatever you want to call her. She is really fast. Doesn't have a lot of armor, which makes her like good for what she is. She is a female character that can actually make her footstep become quiet for a small period of time, which is really good for roaming. If you don't know what roaming is, it's walking around in buildings where you actually should not be. But yeah, it's pretty good. She has an M12, which is a machine gun, a submachine gun, sorry, which has a fire rate of 550, it's 34 damage, and has 30 bullets. Really good for a machine gun again. She also has a spam shotgun, this past 15. Pretty good, does 30 damage when you should read like the thing. Has a capacity of 6. The second special thing about her is that she has an overpowered pistol. This pistol has a silencer equipped with. You can't change it. See, it's only the silencer. You can't say there's none. And when she knocks someone with this pistol, which usually happens, she can actually interrogate her or him, and get to know where the enemies are for a few seconds, like I don't know, like 10 seconds. Which is really good because you can actually know who everyone is, where they are. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's good. Alright, sorry. Alright, next up we're going to have Echo. Echo is a character that has a yokai drone. He can shoot, the drone can shoot shock waves to, like, what do you call it? Disorientate people. It's really good if you can use it. His weapons are pretty decent too. So shotgun, the supernova again, and he has the MP5 SD, which is a submachine gun. The weapon is really good, as it doesn't have a lot of recoil. Also has the bearing again from Hibana, if you remember. So yeah. Next up we are going to have Mira. Mira is a really good character. She's one of my favorites, or my mains. She actually places a mirror that is only visible from the side, from like your side. So when you would set it, you can actually see through it, but when you go to the other side, you can't. It's like the interrogation rooms and police things and stuff. You know, I don't know if you know it. If you know it, you know it. Her weapon is a vector. If you can use this weapon, it's really good. You also have to go for headshots, even though its recoil is really bad. It's a lot of recoil. Shotgun is like the ETA 12 again from Jackal, and the shotgun, the same. You know, you can actually destroy the black mirror by shooting the little nitrogen bottle at the bottom of the thing, which will make the mirror fall out, and you can actually shoot through it and see through it from both sides. Next up, we're going to have Lesion. Lesion is a really good character. I also have the main for this, or like the, what's it called? The elite for this skin. Nano Talks 32. It's pretty cool. His ability is to place GU mines. GU mines are mines that shoot a toxin if you walk over them. This toxin does, I think, 5 or 4 damage per tick. It takes every 2 or 3 seconds. It's really good. His weapon is, at least I use the SMG, is really good. Recoil isn't bad. Damage is kind of bad, but it's so good. It starts shooting so fast, the enemies don't have a chance to actually respawn. The capacity is 30, which is kind of bad for the amount of damage it does. He also has a shotgun. I personally don't use it. I I have no idea how it shoots. I just put a camo in it to make it look cool. At least, I mean, like, this is so cool. The skin is so cool. I don't know. Alright, next up, we are going to have Vigil. Vigil, I didn't even know I unlocked you yet. So yeah, Vigil is a really cool character. I used him a lot back in the day. Vigil can actually make himself invisible to drones and cameras. Cameras, if Dakabai hacked the cameras, he can be invincible to them. His weapons is the same boss G from Dakabai, but he has a key or K1A as a primary weapon or assault rifle, and it's really, really good. It shoots really fast, does a lot of damage, and has again a magazine of 30, which is normal for an AR. He also has the same what's it called? Secondary weapons as Dakabai. Alright, next up, almost last one, we're going to have Alibi. Alibi is a special character because she can set prismas, or like, kind of, I don't know how you call it. These prismas are really good. If they get shot or they get interrupted, you can actually know where the enemy is for a decent amount of time. Alright, so her loadout is the MX4 Storm and the ACS-12. ACS-12 is a shotgun, I don't use it. The MX4 Storm is actually pretty good, I guess. I don't know, I don't use Alibi anymore. I mean, like, she's pretty good, I guess. Her secondaries are the Bailiff 410 and the Karadas. I personally use the Bailiff with Oryx, and we'll get to him later. But yeah, that's Alibi. Next up, we're going to have Clash. Clash is a special character because her primary is a shield. This shield is really good. It has a shocking ability, which slows enemies and shocks them every 2 to 3 seconds. These shocks don't do much damage. I mean, it's pretty good. Shield, when it gets hit by like a melee, it gets pretty interrupted for actually shielding. So yeah, I mean, like, she's decent. I thought she would be a lot better when I bought her. Her weapons to actually shoot with are the P10C and the SB SMG9. I use this one because it's fully automatic. I mean, I guess people use this one. I'm not pretty sure. I usually use this one. Okay, and last but not least, we are going to have Oryx. Oryx is pretty special too. He actually can breach through walls and like unreinforced walls, I mean, by actually running against them. You get 10 damage when you do it, but it's pretty cool. He can also walk through or like sprint through barricades. You don't get any damage for that. And when there's like a little trap or a trap door that is broken and he falls through, he can actually just jump back up. It's really good. The bad thing about him though, he uses an MP5. It's so bad for him. He can also use a SPAS 12, which is another what's it called? Spray shotgun. MP5, you know what an MP5 is already. The Bailiff 10 is the thing I use because USB. I mean, like, it's decent, but I use Bailiff 410. Actually is a shotgun pistol kind of, and it has a really big range, or like bloom, I guess. It's good for taking out drones, breaching through walls. Alright, and that was the stream. Those were 40 characters that I did. Alright, hope you enjoyed. If you did learn anything about it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys